Hi everyone, welcome back to Megan's Creative Arts. Today I have this beautiful coffee lovers blanket for you. So you can see this is a very easy one row repeat, and it's a little hard to tell, but I worked in the back loops only and it gives it kind of a ridge. You can see what it looks like on the back or front. It can go either way. So, but I used 3 different brown colors. This is for my dad. He loves coffee. I just decided to do it. So this is a buff. I forgot the actual color, but I will link it below. These are both red hearts, and this is a different brown that I got from Hobby Lobby. And you can do whatever colors you like. I'm just showing you an example of this particular blanket that I did. And I know you can't see the whole size, so the picture that I leave for the thumbnail will be a little better. And for this one, I used a 5.5mm hook or an eye, and this would look great in a solid, any kind of self-striping variant, or you can stripe it yourself. It does have a straighter edge. I haven't finished this one. There's going to be a border, but I did a continuous, so I never cut the yarn until the end. So I just pulled it around with me. That's why I'm going to create a border on this one. For this one, since it's my dad's, it'll probably be a simple border, just single crochets a couple times around. But if you wanted to go back, you could cut these and then tie them and then sew them in. It's really up to you. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to use the same colors that I did. So here's the buff. Here's another chocolate. I know what this color is, I just forgot what it is, and I have more of it. I just didn't grab it. And then we have our chocolatey brown. All right, so I'm gonna start with the darker brown. We'll do our slip knot. Now this one is done in sets of chaining in sets of 14 plus 2. So you're going to chain 14, 14, 14 as many times as you want, and at the very end add 2 more. For the size I did, I want to say it was like around 140 chains. I don't remember the exact number. I did not count very well when I started. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14. Okay, so I did 44 chains. So to start with row 1 in the 3rd chain from our hook, so this loop does not count, and it might be a little hard to see, but here's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put a double crochet into that third chain from my hook. The skipped 2 chains do count as a double crochet. Pull a little more yarn out. All right, and then I'm going to do a double crochet in each of the next 4 chains. Go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's where we started with our skip 2 chains and into that third. So now we're going to do 2 double crochets 2 together. So to do that, we're going to do yarn over, insert our hook and pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 2 like you're starting to do a double crochet, yarn over and go into the next chain, pull up a loop. Now you have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through 2, then yarn over and go through all 3. And that is the double crochet 2 together. We're going to do that one more time. So yarn over, insert our hook and pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, insert your hook to the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, then yarn over and go through all 3. And that gives us our downward wave, or our valley, however you want to look at it. Then we're going to do a double crochet in the next 4 chains. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we're going to be at the top of our upward curve or peak. We're going to do 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches each. So see, there's 2 in that one chain, and we're going to do the same thing in the next one. 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Go. It's a little hard to see, but that's where our upward curve goes. Now we're going to go back down. So we're going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 chain spaces. Now here's where we do our 2 double crochets together. So yarn over, insert our hook and pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through all 3. Now we're going to do a double crochet 2 together again. We do 2 of them. There's 1 and 2, and then 4 double crochets. We're going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 chains, I should say. 3 and 4. Then we're at the top of our wave. So we need to do 2 double crochets in each of the next 2 chains. So 2. Now we need to do 4, or we need to do a double crochet in each of the next 4 chain spaces. Go. And again, the double crochet 2 together. We need 2 of those to do our bottom curve. And you're going to keep going. I'm at the end of my first row. I'm going to put a double, when you're at the end of your first row, you're going to do a double crochet in each of the next 4 chains. Three and 4. You should have 1 chain left. We're going to put 2 double crochets into that very last chain. So this is what one row looks like. Now it's curving a little, but it'll be fine. Now, depending if you're going to be changing colors, I'm going to change colors after each row. In this case, I did every other row with the actual blanket. So this is how I like to change colors. So I took out the top of the last stitch, and instead I'm going to use my next color to finish the last stitch. And just pull on your yarn just a little to keep it in there. For row 2, you're going to, and this is going to be your repeat row, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. The chain 2 does count as a double crochet. If you do tighter stitches, I would do a chain 3. It just really depends on how straight you want your edge and how tight you tend to do your stitches. But I did a chain 2, you can do a chain 3, it's up to you. And you can either go through all the both of these top loops, or like me, I'm going through the back loop only. So if you turn your work, so you're looking at the top, I'm only going into these back loops. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the very top, and only go through that back loop into my double crochets. So I did 1 double crochet into the very first stitch, so it's like having 2, and then I'm going to do a double crochet into the 4 stitches. So the first one technically has 2, the chain 2 counts as a double crochet, and then I put another one in there, and then I'm going into the back loops to do a double crochet in each of the next 4 chain space, or next 4 stitches. So here's where our double crochet 2 together is, and I got 1 more double crochet before that. So that's what's going to create our double crochet 2 together. And Again, I'm only going through the back loops. If you are not comfortable or don't want that little ridge look, then you can go through both loops. Depends on what you would like. This pattern's a little versatile, that way you don't have to go through the back loops. There's my double crochet 2 togethers. So now I'm going to do a double crochet in each of the next 4 spaces. And now I'm at the top of my wave. So here are the 2 double crochets in each space. So I'm actually going into the very top of those 2, and I'm going to put 2 double crochets. In each one. Again, I'm only going into the back loops. That is optional, depending on how you would like your project to look. I'm just pulling a little more yarn out. This is our repeat row, so we're basically repeating what we did in the row below, but we're going through the same stitches. So I need to do 4 double crochets. Then I'm going to do our double crochet 2 together, and I need 2 of those. If you're doing the back loops like me, I know this feels a little weird, but once you really start going after a few rows, it'll become second nature. Now I'm doing the 4 double crochets, 1 in each stitch. And 4. And then 2 double crochets into the top of each of the next 2 stitches. So this is what it should start looking like. And again, we're going to do a double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And double crochet 2 together. So if you need to pause the video to keep going, you can certainly do that. I am nearing the end of row 2. Again, this is our repeat row, so you're just going to continue doing row 2 for each row after. I do want to point out that you need to make sure you do 2 double crochets into the very last stitch. In this case, it will always be the chain spaces. So here's my very last stitch. You got to make sure you put 2 of them in there. If you don't, it'll start to shrink your project. So this is what 2 rows look like so far. I'm going to pull the last loop out of there and add my 3rd color. Again, this is just a sample. I'm not actually going to keep this one. And here's where you chain 2 or chain 3 depending on how tight you do your chaining, make sure you put a double crochet into that very first stitch, so it's like having 2 into the very first stitch, and then you're going to continue. So double crochet into the next 4 stitches. Again, back loops are optional. Four, and then you can see I have 1 double crochet and then our double crochet 2 together. So that's the 2 stitches I'm using for my double crochet 2 together. And then do our 4 double crochets. And then 2 double crochets in each of the next stitches. Next 2, I should say. 1 and 2. And that's how you keep going. I know it's a little hard to see right now, but I am starting to get a little ridge. But it is a very simple 1 row repeat. It turns out to be a nice warm blanket for anyone who needs it. I like doing a lap size for this one. You could certainly do a baby size. For baby size, I would chain 100. And again, this can depend on the yarn and hook size you're using, but you're going to be chaining in sets of 14 plus 2. And depending on your project, you can do a very simple border like I'm going to do. For mine, it's just going to be a single crochet all the way around a couple times. I haven't decided if I'm going to just use one particular color or if I'm going to do a multicolor border to mirror what I did with the striping. That's really up to you. If you are going to be doing the back loops like I am, make sure you're doing it on all of the stitches, otherwise it will look a little weird. You could use this on any yarn you're interested in. I'm just getting to the end of row 3. If you do enjoy these videos, please give me a thumbs up. And if you aren't already, please subscribe. So here is the end of row 3. Again, 2 double crochets in the very last stitch. But this is what 3 rows look like. Can't really tell. I have that kind of border or the edging coming through, but you can kind of see it a little better here where I only did the back loops. That is the Coffee Lovers blanket. I'm only calling it Coffee Lovers because of the colors I ended up using. Again, I encourage you to use any colors that you like because it's your blanket and your project. And I will see you next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1 row repeat.